I've seen this before. I was in New York on September the 11th, 2001. I saw what happened and it's happening now. Let me get right to the issue at hand. For some reason, and I'm trying my best to understand this, and I have investigated to the point of scouring every extraneous form of media there is and are, from Rumble and Bumble and BitChute and BoopChute and this and that and YouTube and anything regarding what everyone is talking about, or many people, the directed energy weapon. There is no evidence that it was used in Lahaina. Let me say this again. Let me say this again. There is no evidence that what you are seeing is proof, the proof in any way of this directed energy weapon. Please do not confuse the fact that they exist. Somebody sent me a video or TikTok or something of somebody saying, see, here's Lockheed Martin or something. They admit having energy weapons. That doesn't mean they were used here. Do you see how critical thinking is gone? How the ability to point to proof is gone. It's missing because you want it. And also anything to up the numbers. I saw a video of another guy who said, I've got no proof of directed energy weapons, but he talked about the directed energy weapons. And because he pointed to something, because he says, well, how come there's fire here and not here? In his mind, that now is evidence of, well, that's it. Because we have collectively come up with this idea that directed energy weapons without any pictures, a green light here, a light. Again, one in particular that was from an oil refinery fire of 2008. There's no evidence of anything, but yet in our collective mind, many of us, many of our conspirators have come up with this idea. Now listen, keep going and looking for evidence of it, but don't say there's evidence just because you found on the Lockheed Martin website something that says directed energy weapons. We've known about this. Just because I know that MK Ultra was declassified, that mind control experiments were done by, and probably still are, by the CIA, does not mean that they were done necessarily in the case of Sirhan Sirhan or Mark David Chapman, even though I wouldn't be surprised. And if you say to me, wait a minute, Mark David Chapman, MK Ultra, well, here it is right here. Here's a website on MK Ultra. No, I'm not suggesting it doesn't exist. I want to know the connection. I'm not saying directed energy weapons don't exist or weren't weapons, but where did all of these experts come from overnight? And they have this idea that when you have a fire pattern that they don't understand, where something was not burned without any comparison to other fires. I know experts, absolute FDNY arson experts who have spent their life. He says, fire does not necessarily follow politically advantageous courses of direction. That being said, listen to me. Listen, stop. Don't be dejected. Don't think like, oh. No, because what we're seeing is directed lethargy weapons. We're seeing the media acting as almost brainwashing institutes, functions of directed lethargy, ennui, torpor, indifference, stagnation, languor, languid, these ideas. I was just looking before of all of these stories, time after time, and I'm looking at this. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Do you see the look at this, look at this. I'm just looking at everybody right now is focusing on just the picture. Yes, look at this languor. Look at this son of like, look at the pictures. Oh, there's Oprah. Oh, okay. Oh, did Tulsi Gabbard show up? Yeah, she should have. Oh, that's nice. That's good. Boy, these are terrible pictures. They sure are. They sure. These are terrible pictures. Yeah. Yeah, they sure are. And you see what happens? That's the weapon of lethargy. You just start saying, here is the issue. Look at the area that, irrespective of the source, look at the area. Lahaina was the capital of Hawaii's been around since what, 300, 700 AD. It was originally the capital before it was Honolulu. This area that now has been reduced to nothing, what you should be looking for and paying attention to is look at the reaction. Look at how people are not reacting to anything. Look at how people who have been there for multi-generations say, we said we are not going to sell. This is going to be ours until the end of time. Focus there. Go there. Keep going. Keep going. But that's not interesting. That's not fun. That's not fun. That's a different story. No, I don't want to do that. I want to talk about directed energy lasers. Wait a minute. Look at how the government has absolutely provided no help whatsoever. They can mobilize and motivate overnight, Operation Warp Speed. They can deliver millions and billions of doses of vaccine and booster and masks and police, and they can shut schools down and businesses, provide money that goes. Is there any way of targeting, of immediately providing some type of relief into the bank accounts of all these folks? We have no idea who they are. We have the weirdest thing of identifying who you are. You need now ID for porn and ID to vote, but no ID to get into the country, no ID to stay here. You mean to tell me you don't know where these people are? They keep asking. There's no government here, while the president, in the most obvious FU, is languishing on the beach, a beach, while another beach island is destroyed by a fire, by fires. Maisie Hirono says, oh, that's climate change for you. Listen to the languor, listen to the torpor, listen to the ennui, listen to this sense of we don't care. This means nothing to us. Figure it out for yourself. Not interested. Whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's this, look what they are interested in. The Trump indictment. What I am interested in is, what is the weaponry that turns off our sense of anger? What is it? Is there something? Have they figured out our pineal gland? If you told me that there was something that was being done using 5G radiation that turned Americans into I don't know what the word that turned Americans into sort of sloth-like, lumber, the usual stuff, where we don't care. Oh well, did you see the pictures of Lahaina? That's terrible. Let's change the channel. Let's go someplace else. Let's go to the beach. Let's go to the mall. Let's go to the shore. Oh, yeah, that's awful. That's terrible. They just love to see this stuff. Now, let me recap this, because if you're watching this, we're probably on the same page. Let me recap this. Number one, you're starting, and I've been telling you, that the directed energy weapon people sound like nuts to people who don't want to think that. And unless there is someone, a whistleblower who says, yes, I was there and I'm a part of, I was in a particular plane, I activated a satellite system, I was responsible for sending a death ray, death beam, death. Yes, I did that. That's what I did. Then that's fine. Short of that, having and what this kills me. What passes for proof of something? I saw it during COVID. People were sending out videos of stuff. It was like, I don't think it should be banned, but it was like, it's nonsense. What do you think this is? Do you know how to make a point from A to B? Where are you getting this from? Where is this from? Dear God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's something I never thought possible. Let me say this again, because I don't think many people are understanding. Nobody is questioning whether this thing that people have figured out now, and whenever there's a fire, it started with the California fire, that there is this thing called directed energy weapons. Okay? They exist. Mind-controlled experiments exist. LSD experiments exist. I can go through a lot of things that would shock people, but they exist. Now, that's not the issue. The issue is, were they used? That's the second issue. Third issue, a layman who has in his or her own mind what fire looks like. I've been through this. I've been through this with 9/11, how people became plane scatter experts. I went through this. And I'm saying, look, see, they didn't want certain evidence to be, and then they decided, here, you might want there to be evidence. Sometimes you don't want there to be evidence. I remember one time there was after 9/11, there was a scene, and one in particular, might have been Shanksville, where there was no evidence of any plane wreckage. And people who didn't like where the area of discussion was going, they came up with these ideas and said, well, you see, when you're flying at a particular rate of descent, the plane will obliterate? What? They just made stuff up. What do you know about plane wreck? Well, I saw it during OJ. People became blood splatter experts overnight, who knew how much blood would normally accompany a crime alleged to have been committed by OJ Simpson. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now listen, I'm your friend. And if there's evidence of anything, let's find it. But what you should be focusing on is how they're letting Lahaina just crumble and decay and blow away. They're not doing anything. The firemen aren't coming. I think Tulsi Gabbard, I think she showed up. I don't know. I would have been there I would have been there. I would have owned that. I would have owned that, especially if you have political aspirations. I would have owned that. So many things don't make sense to me. But while some things might be fun, and some things might be groovy, and some things might be, you must be absolutely brutal in your clinical attribution of cause and effect. That is all, my friend. What do you think? Let me know. Write down your comments. Ask yourself, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Comment. comment, 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 comment. Comment as you see fit.